this video, I'm going to be sharing how I went from losing everything to building the mindset that was able to allow me to overcome everything, in the hopes that by the end of this video, you're going to be able to do just the same. My name is Dole, and I'm a dating coach and consultant. I help men transform and women improve. Now, this video is for you if you're struggling with rejection, struggling with failure, and struggling with the ability to foresee a better future in hindsight. Now, by the end of this video, my promise to you is that I am going to be giving you everything I was able to have access to in order for me to overcome that situation that I was in. So let's dive in. Just so you understand the background, I was failing in all areas. So if we were to split the 5 pillars: financial, physical, mental, spiritual, and social. Financially, I had lost £90,000 just when I needed it the most. I needed it the most because the uncles that passed away needed their funeral to be paid. And I wanted to contribute, I wanted to help, I wanted to cover it. And the mental space I was in led me into some very bad financial decisions. I had lost more than I have ever made in my lifetime. I don't wish that space to be for anyone, especially at a young age. I remember the pain of feeling like I'm letting them down and there's nothing I can do. It was just powerlessness. I felt weak, feeble, useless. And if you feel what I'm saying right now, I need you to lock in and understand that this is just a part of the journey. Relationships wise, gone into this phase where for the past 12-15 years, I just kept getting rejected by the people that I wanted. I wasn't ugly, but I wasn't myself. I wasn't authentic. And people could sense that. And I could sense it because when I was around people, I was awkward. It just felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to be around anyone. So at a very young age, I learned how to be comfortable in my own space as a protective mechanism, you know? But what that led me to is being socially awkward. So I had to learn how to communicate. I had to learn how to come across in the right manner. But prior to that, I was rejected. I was ridiculed. I was pushed to the side whilst my friends were picked. And what I really want to help you understand here is that if you're in that position right now, I fully understand. Now so we've discussed financial, we've discussed relationship wise. Now let's go into mental. I, for the longest period, felt like I needed to punish myself for being weird, for being different, for being just not. The word that used to drill into me was, "You're not good enough." And because I felt like that, I'll try to overcompensate. So again, if that's you, I need you to lock in. You see, I want you guys to understand the gravity of what low meant for me. It wasn't just a slight low. This is brick after brick of consistent down payments on negativity that turned out to be this massive wall that I either smashed in or that smashed me. I was fat. I was chubby. I knew I had potential, but I also knew that I was wasting that potential. I knew that I could go somewhere, I could get somewhere if I really put my head to it, but I was just mediocre. I wasn't really thinking big. I wasn't thinking, let me reach this target of mine, right? I was just keeping afloat. My shirt, I was just trying to do this, just so that the stomach isn't fully shown or tucked in. So that's number 4. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the pain that led me in was excruciating. I felt unwanted, I felt undesired, I felt, you name it. It just wasn't a nice place to be in. I was swerved live, left, right, and center. I'd pour in energy, you know.
I showed them compassion. I showed them mercy. I walked away. I was the bigger man. And look what it fucking got me.
Especially as guys, you wanna be liked. You wanna be respected. How do you expect someone to respect you when you don't respect yourself? You don't respect your word. And these are realities I had to come through for myself. The law of polarity is everything. The moment you're able to look at the bad in the good and the good in the bad, everything changes. And the reason why everything changes is because you start to realize that everything is neutral. It's just down to your perception. And your perception is your choice. No one else's. Your choice. I decided to build the resilience. And actually, this came from watching Black Clover. Watching the main character, Asta, go through adversity after adversity and still coming up on top and eventually being able to actually climb the ladder. If not Asta, it was Naruto. These are all people that didn't have superpowers. They weren't geniuses. They were just determined to not let go. So I was like, if they can do it, why can't I? So I started developing the mindset. Started going to the gym. I get to the 15 reps and I said, I'm not done yet. I'm gonna push past my limits. And I did just that. 15 became 20. 20 became 20 reps and five sessions a week. The 5 sessions a week became me slimming down. And as I slimmed down, I gained more confidence. As I gained more confidence, it was like a domino effect. I managed to gather my finances together. I was able to take more risk. I was able to think. Relationship-wise, things were starting to scale up because I'm feeling confident now. So you're not going to speak to me anyhow anymore. I know my price. I remember there was a girl I was speaking to at the time. She was like, "What do you bring to the table?" I'm like, I don't have anything for you. Nothing at all. Yeah, but I need to know what you bring to the table. I said, the table's closed. You ain't got nothing to discuss. And the reason why I was able to do those things, it was because I had become someone that could rely on me. You see, the law of polarity is such a key thing to understand, but you see, once you're able to apply that, you're not just, you can't just envision a great future without understanding that you're responsible for your current present. And what I mean by that is that it's not your fault that you come from a poor family, but it's your responsibility if that now carries on after you've been here. And that's in all areas. Poor isn't limited to money. Poor could be limited to your finances, could be limited to your relationships, could be limited to your health, could be limited to how you handle your situation. So become wealthy. How do you become wealthy? Do what the wealthy people do in that specific field. You see, principles are very interesting because you see, a principle can be applied in a specific field and work just as well in another unrelated field because of the simple fact that it's a principle. As I decided to invest in myself, as I decided to work on how I present myself, how I pitch myself, I had realized something very important. And what I realized is that not just only is down to me, but if I can just get better every single day, in a year's time, my life will be completely transformed. It took me 2 weeks to just turn on the switch permanently. And thus, we've discussed Law of Polarity, we've discussed the ability of understanding how to improve yourself and understand that it's your responsibility to do that. Number 3 and final is understanding that resilience isn't enough. Resilience is good because it allows you to stand back up again. But you see, there's this thing that I was reading in when it comes to so I like Dragon Ball Z, right? So when you look at Super Saiyans, every single time they get beat up, every single time they lose, they become stronger. And I embodied that concept. Let me fall so I can get up stronger. Let me fail so that I can learn what I need to learn from this situation. Right? So, in other words, if you're able to create this aura where not only you acknowledge the law of polarity, not only you're able to be responsible for your future because you're saying it's my responsibility to be wealthy in this specific sector, to ensure that you take charge by improving on a daily basis, my friend, you've gone clear. There is nothing that's going to stop you. And I tell you what, as I applied these 3 things, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me because I was no longer the person that was tied by this restriction. I became unlimited. And I'm still building. And this is where you come in. You see, thank you for sharing and spending time with me today. But I want you to know that as I grow, you grow. Because everything I'm giving to you right now is exactly everything that I wish I had access to. I wish I had learned at the time. Experience taught me that. But in your case, you get to apply and learn these things without having to go through the shitstorms I had to go through. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the blueprint to understanding how to turn yourself around in the quickest time possible.